Hi there, I'm Caitlin Rochford, and I would like to welcome you to my intensified geometry class. A little bit about me. I'm originally from Richmond. I grew up just south of Richmond in Chesterfield County, and I graduated from JMU. But I've been at Jefferson for 6 years now, teaching algebra and intensified geometry. So everything for this class is available on Canvas. We've moved away from what we used to use. If there's something they can't find, or if your student ever has a question, Canvas has a really nice messaging feature where they can go to inbox and shoot me a message if they have any concerns. This class does go, so if they stay on this path, if intensified geometry goes well and they're successful and not struggling, then that usually means they would go to Algebra 2 Intensified / Trig next year, and then that sets them up for pre-calculus the following year. If they are overwhelmed and not doing as well as they would like this year, and then, when I go to make recommendations, some students do end up going to regular Algebra 2 in high school. So a typical day in this class, a little bit different than last year. I know in algebra we like to do the flipped classroom, but for geometry, I like to do discovery activities. I just find it to be really powerful, a lot of the things we're talking about, to have them sort of discover it for themselves first, and then we can spend time taking notes or kind of synthesizing whatever it is that they were asked to discover that day. So that might be something we're doing as a group. They're doing it individually. It might be stations. It might be a game. Just sort of depends. And then group discussions as needed to make sure once we've done the discovery and we know what's going on, that we're all on the same page and getting where we need to be. So assessments are the majority of their grade. Homework and classwork does count for 10% of their grade. I typically just grade homework unless there's some sort of issue with students not completing classwork, but that doesn't usually happen. And I'll talk a little bit more about the homework in a little bit. Quizzes are 35% of their grade. They will always know when they're coming. They always have a quiz review packet leading up to the quiz. Same thing with tests. They'll always have a test review packet leading up to the test. They'll always know it's coming, and it will always be at the end of the unit. And it is worth 55% of their grade. There are no retakes allowed in intensified math classes at all this year. I did this last year as well in my intensified geometry class, and I was very pleasantly surprised that when we told them there was no retakes, they seemed better prepared the first time around. So, homework. I only have 42 minutes in class, so I honestly we don't have enough time for me to assign them bookwork every night and then go over it the next day. So instead, what I like to do is give them a quiz review packet for the first half of the unit and a test review packet for the second half of the unit, and it's their responsibility to make sure that it gets done before the quiz. I do check and make sure it's done, but honestly, I give them the answers on there, and I also provide videos explaining how to do each problem, so it's kind of their responsibility. This is a tough transition for some kids for sure, but if they can do the review packet and they truly sit down and try to do it without looking at the answers, and then if there's ones they're confused about, they should use the videos, and if they're still confused, they should come see me during lunch, after school, before school. But if they do all of that, then tests and quizzes should not be a problem. Typically, I find that if there's students who are not doing well in tests and quizzes, then they're not truly doing the review packets the way they should be. The other thing is that because they go from Algebra 1 to Geometry to Algebra 2, that's a long year to not think about a lot of the algebra concepts. So some of them are naturally built into geometry, some of them are not. So just to make sure that they're still fresh on other very important skills from algebra, we do assess that sometimes throughout the year, and that's also a part of their homework grade is completing the algebra review. And then sometimes for homework, they may be working on projects. There's not that many, but there are a couple, and I only do projects if I feel like they truly benefit, the learning targets of that unit. And I believe that is it. So if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. The best way is definitely by email, but if you want to call the school, you can get in touch with me that way as well. If you weren't able to come to back to school night, we're sorry we missed you, and I hope to meet you sometime soon. Thanks so much.